Welcome back to the Church of Atheism podcast. I'm just going to make a really quick intro here and get right to the show. You guys know the drill by now. Amazon.com/shop/Church of Atheism for our little store there. Nice way to help support the podcast. That's it for me right now. I'm just going to let you go straight to the video, straight to the episode on faith healing. Hope you enjoy. Physically like the end of this year or early next year, but I think we're going back to Nebraska for like a week.
Cool.
Totally do a live podcast.
Oh, that'd be so fun. We could do like 20 of them.
Yeah.
we'll just podcast for 40 straight hours.
Exactly. We're done for the year.
Yeah, exactly. That's just what we should do.
Yeah.
Get a little bit of speed. Not a lot. We don't want to. We're not trying to party. We're not trying to get messed up.
You're using it for medicinal, professional reasons.
Yeah. We use meth in a very utilitarian manner.
Right. I don't even like the effect. It just helps me stay awake for podcasts.
Right. I like selling it and buying guns, though. I do like that.
That has started to become a hobby of mine as well. Yeah.
Speaking of meth, very, very great way to kick off a show about religion. But
exactly.
I've been hooked on this like YouTube thing where like there's this. I just looked up one video of methed out people at Walmart.
Oh God.
And then my YouTube suggestions seem to think I'm really into tweakers and meth addicts, which I got to admit I've been watching a lot of the videos they suggest, but I stumbled on this one, and like there's this guy who's probably the closest thing we have to like a celebrity tweaker, because like his neighbors for I guess the last couple of years, like there's some like meth dealer and he's had the cops called on him like fucking 90 times in 2 years. Like that's no exaggeration.
Oh my God.
I think it is like 50 to 60 times. He's been arrested like half a dozen. And so like his neighbor, like several of his neighbors actually just have live closed circuit cameras just pointing at his house 24 hours a day.
Oh my
and
God.
they post everything on YouTube. And so like this guy, and like the videos have like millions of hits all like total, and
I'm sure it was really, really easy to get him to sign the signature too. Like his release, I don't know whatever. I'll sign it. It's just like
the funniest. Oh yeah, the funniest thing is like, so he's already at this point he's already pretty much famous for just being a meth head, and then like the local news comes by to interview him, and then they're like asking him about drugs, and he's like, "So are you clean right now?" And then he hesitated, and he's like, "Well, I don't know how long meth stays in your system." Like, just because said no.
It's like any answer besides no, they're probably fucked up.
Yeah. That was so funny.
Well, I mean, can you define?
Like, what do you? How clean are any of us? Just go to a philosophical answer. Well, what is clean?
Right.
Well, now Webster's dictionary defines clean.
I mean, how much caffeine have you had today? You're not exactly clean either, are you, Mr. Hypocrite?
Well, we all have our vices. Yeah. So, yeah, check that out, listeners.
No, I'm definitely going to do that as soon as we're done recording.
I mean, it's pretty entertaining.
I have, like, my suggestions are so random. I watch a certain video game channel that's kind of famous, all the way to, like, music, like metal, guitar reviews and pedal, that kind of shit. And then randomly I get, like, random toker hits. Like,
yeah,
a girl takes 100 hits of weed or whatever. It's like, what? Where is this coming from?
That's like, it's just funny to me that like that people actually just have YouTube channels of them like smoking weed, and what's funnier is that people actually watch them.
Yeah. And I could really go for a stoner video right about now.
It's like, Weed Chick 42069 has a new video of herself smoking weed. I better watch it. Like, who are these people?
I don't care what what quarter the football game's on. I don't care what the Kardashians are doing. I'm gonna go watch this chick smoke some weed.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I guess I say that in like a mocking tone, but then I start thinking about all the shit that I watch, and I'm like, I guess I really know better. I was just talking about
Watching
videos of
videos.
people just being methed out. Like, I watched a guy, he went in and out of it. One of the videos, he went in and out of his house probably 20 times in like an hour, just adjusting the sign, and like that's what I watched. So.
All right. I mean,
yeah, so I guess I really am in no position to judge.
That's why they have different genres of everything out there.
Yeah.
I like to do that little hippie voice once in a while.
Yeah.
That's why there's something for everyone on the internet. Can you imagine, like, being friends with that guy who, like, that's how he talks all the time?
Oh, God. I can't. I cannot. I don't. Yeah.
Did you watch the UFC last weekend? I don't really watch a lot of fights. I'm not really into violence.
It's like, why can't they hug it out, man?
Right, man. Why do we have to have so many differences, man?
That would be so funny if UFC changed format. Now they go into a ring and just talk about it. Yeah.
Well, I would hit you with the left hook. Nuh-uh, I'd hit you. I'd hit
and
you with the jab first.
But it's like, why? Why are we doing this, man? And what would make that even funnier is if it remained as popular.
Yeah, right? Sold out venues and pay-per-views every weekend.
Yeah. Joe Rogan still had all the like UFC talkers because they don't fight anymore.
He's still like going through strategy as they're talking.
Oh,
he's
God,
like, oh, notice how he's gonna use the reverse psychology here.
Oh, that's like a fake something we should do, like a fake petition is to or like a video or something.
Yeah.
Like go on about about how UFC is just like, I don't know, it promotes gladiator culture.
Right.
It's just backwards and like
like
bring the violence. Bring the violence in the UFC down.
Yeah.
No matter, like, you know, forget about the fact that most of the interviews I've seen with them, they're, you know, all pretty level-headed people.
Yeah.
for the most part.
Oh, there's always the exception.
There's always your Conor McGregor's who's just a fucking lunatic.
Yeah. Dude, he is so fun to watch, though. Like,
yeah, exactly.
If you didn't have to hear anything about him outside the cage, he's just so fun to watch.
Yeah.
But then he speaks.
Yeah.
Some of it's gold, though. Some of it is really good.
He's entertaining as shit. Like, I'm definitely among the people that, like, kind of got a little more interested in, you know, like, I know quite a bit about it just because I listen to all the podcasts I listen to for the most part. They're all UFC fans, so I know quite a bit about it.
Right.
Like, especially when he did that ill-fated boxing match about a year ago.
Yeah.
That I was glued to that. I didn't get to fucking watch it. I was helping James move, but like pretty much about every 5 minutes we'd refresh the page, look at updates.
Yeah, it was pretty much went exactly as planned.
Yeah. In fact, that like I watched some replays and I'm like, I think Floyd probably could have just cleaned his clock a lot quicker than he did.
Yeah.
I think he was trying. He knew that the fans came for a fucking real spectacle, so
right.
I think they both gave the fans what they came for.
Oh,
Anyone watching or anyone that paid to watch it knew what they were getting into.
Yeah. Yep. We paid for it. My wife and I are both like pretty hardcore UFC fans. I think we've missed one pay-per-view and like one fight night in the last like 3 years. So we had to get that one.
See, I don't think that's cool because I'm a man of peace. Actually, you know what's really... If you look into like not Buddhism in general, but like specifically
Zen.
God, what? Jesus Christ, Tibet. Like a
Oh
lot of the
yeah,
Buddhist monks in Tibet, it's like they've been historically like tormented by like like Chinese government. And if you look into like the Dalai Lama, he definitely encourages violence. That has not much to do with anything, but I was kind of reading a little bit about that, and
yeah,
it's fascinating. It's, you know, we're on topic. It has to do with religion.
exactly. Yeah, it's crazy. I read not much about it. I read it not too long ago. That same type of thing. Like they go through some major shit.
Oh yeah, yeah, and like I'm genuinely surprised that they enjoy like the autonomy that they're getting now, which is not much, but like it's,
Right.
if you look into the Chinese government, and I mean you really don't have to know much about it at all to be completely surprised that they actually have this much freedom.
Right. Yeah. Very true.
Yeah, I always thought Buddhism was pretty cool.
Yeah, I've not really studied it by any means, but going like I've read a few little like Zen Buddhist books. It's interesting philosophies they have. Path of
Yeah,
least
yeah,
resistance.
yeah. It was like one of those things where like I went through a phase probably in like my late teens when I was really I was going heavy for like a year on just researching all religions really.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was the one that I um, probably would have like, I don't know, if I thought religion was for me
Yeah,
at all.
gun to your head, you have to pick one religion to join.
I'm like Buddhism because you don't have to worship anything
Right.
except like you essentially worship all things on Earth.
Right.
I'm like I can get behind that.
I'm down for that.
But I found trolling. I found internet trolling, and that's my
So
zen.
much better.
Yeah, yeah,
I do find if I'm in the middle of a good troll, I'm very focused, very much present, very much in the now.
yeah, yeah. You have to be.
Exactly. It's like its own form of meditation.
So, God, we had a lot of stuff picked out to talk about. I don't know where.
Um, did you want to start off with the faith healers?
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
I found that most interesting, so I figure if we get that the most time.
It's so George Michael's hit song "Faith." There was a no, I'm just kidding.
No, that's not something you researched.
No, yeah, no, I was talking about faith, or yeah, I found out we were thinking about two completely different things.
Yep.
I was reading about Wham, and
Well, this is gonna be a short episode.
yeah, drop the ball again. So, I think we should start with the one thing we were kind of talking about yesterday was I should have wrote it down, but I didn't. I don't know if you had that handy or you could, but
Was
that
that
okay, so the specific Child Care Act, and
I think I actually moved on a different. Hold on, let me go find it through the magic of Messenger.
yeah, I was just trying to find the name of that Child Care Act because I pretty much remembered most of the info. But while you're finding that, I guess I'll explain to the folks at home what the fuck I'm talking about. So like, all right, well, okay, we were talking about faith healing, and so yeah, if you don't know what faith healing is, I mean that is essentially the belief that the power of prayer will heal, not modern medicine.
Yeah.
So I stumbled upon yesterday a pretty like disturbing fact. So I guess it starts in England, and I believe the 1850s. So there's a guy. His kid was sick. Whatever. He neglected the kid because it was his belief that prayer will heal. That prayer will heal him. So anyway, this kid died because instead of going to the doctor, he used prayer, which, spoiler alert, usually doesn't work.
Yeah.
And so the kid died. And you know what's funny is that, like, we're talking about, like, 1850s medicine.
Right.
So, like, I don't know. That's just silly. That means that the kid was probably, like, that means all it took to heal that kid was to put a leech or two on it, probably.
Yeah, but
Put a
it didn't
leech
have to be
on.
like advanced science or advanced medicine. Just like a fucking leech would have done the deal.
Yeah, like 3 leeches and some medicinal cocaine, and then the kid
Yeah.
would have been fine. That's 1850s medicine. So, so the kid died, and the guy got charged. I don't really.
I was gonna make you a joke about it, but I think it might be too soon.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, you know, if his, I don't know, maybe his family is listening.
Yeah. Their
Maybe-
great grandkids are listening, and I don't want to offend anybody.
Yeah. We're not about that here. And then, like, so basically he got charged with some sort of, you know, neglect or murder. I don't really know what the laws were at the time, but but you know, he argued that it was for religious reasons, and so they yeah, so they put laws on the books that protected the parents of neglect victims if it was for religious reasons. So
Right.
it took took a while.
I fucking love that when it's like, no, we're gonna decide a religion over the health of a human.
Yeah. And it's like, you know, I mean, 1850s England, that doesn't surprise me, honestly. So then, of course, those types of laws made their way over to the United States.
Yep.
And then they started, the beginning of the 20th century, they started having more like child abuse, child neglect laws on the books. Then, I think it was in the 1950s, they really started to take the whole child abuse and neglect thing seriously. And then,
just from the article, 1970s, the Child Abuse and Protection.
Yeah, okay.
The Child Abuse Protection and Treatment Act of 1972, I believe.
So here's where things get fucked up. So Walter Mondale, he proposed this bill because he didn't want to see kids getting abused and neglected to death.
Right.
And,
makes sense. I can be on that side.
I don't know if you noticed the quote, which was because Walter Mondale and Richard Nixon didn't get along. Richard Nixon and everybody, for the most part, didn't get along. And then there was a pretty funny quote. He's like, was quoted as saying, "Not even Richard Nixon wants to see children get abused."
Yep.
He's like, not even Richard Nixon. Like,
not even this asshole.
Yeah, he found the one thing so he passed this bill that holds parents responsible for neglect. But what he did not intend was that there were a couple instances where, like, kids died because of religious reasons, because they believed Jesus would heal. And then two of Richard Nixon's top White House aides were basically convinced to add an amendment to the bill where part of this bill gives states funding, and so part of the bill was that they had to have a clause to where you get a lesser sentence if the child dies because of religious reasons. You get a lesser sentence.
It's a lesser sentence. Yep.
And at one point, 49 states and Washington, D.C. had this clause.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and like I fucking didn't know that. Now, yeah, and that was in the fucking 70s. Now, thank God that, like, and see, that was the thing. It wasn't technically a federal law, but this is the type of bullshit the government does, where
right.
sure, it's not a law, but if you don't do this, we're not giving you money. So it's
Right.
it's such tricky bullshit that the government does to get their way without actually passing a law.
Yep.
It's, yeah, pretty fucking sneaky shit. And
They did the same thing with online poker. Like, yeah, you can go ahead and pass online poker, but you're not going to get this fund or that fund.
yeah,
You pricks.
it's pretty crazy. And so like, thank God that didn't last too long for the most part. Like, it really took states like, I think by like 1979, most of the states changed that. But right now, currently, 8 states still have that clause in their state law. 8 fucking states. And in Arkansas, right now, that law, well, at least as of like a year or so ago, that law still applies to capital murder. So if you neglect your kids to death in Arkansas, you'll probably get a lesser sentence. Like,
Slap
the
on the
thing is,
wrist.
yeah, the thing is, like, you're still probably gonna do some time or something bad's gonna happen. But the fact that the fact that this is on the books,
Right.
is insane.
Yeah.
It is so insane to me. I can't believe I never learned about this until literally yesterday.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just mind blowing, even like going back over it.
Yeah, it blows my mind how, like, that's how far religion poisons the government. Like, they're okay with kids dying so long as it's the name of God. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You imagine if I let my kids die in the name of atheism? I'd be fucking hanged.
Oh, absolutely. Ow. I ran into something.
They'd bring back hanging just for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 8 states currently have that law on the books.
Crazy.
It is, yeah.
What was the other article I think you sent me about a specific family?
Yeah, there was that family in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And I could not find the exact article because I know what newspaper it was from, but I could not find the exact article I was looking for, unfortunately. Because it had so many good quotes, but it did have a good ending, which was like, so the story was that it was when I was living there, so it was like a pretty big deal. And so there was a family, a white family, and that's important because they were into some new age, like Native American healing thing. And the thing is that so the son got leukemia, and like a curable kind. Like, they easily could have taken care of it, but they were using their Native American spiritual powers. And here's the thing: first of all, the kid was like talking about how he's a certified healer, but it was one of those things where you pay $50 online and you get a healer certificate. It was literally that. And here's another thing: when you're paying for one of those, the person that's in charge of all that is probably like 1/20th Native American at best.
Yeah. No. My great grandmother was half Native American.
Yeah. Someone whose great grand raped a young squaw.
Yeah, exactly. That's funny. I was trying to find it, but I can't. No, I was going through my fucking history.
I was gonna say, same with any Native American, any reservation.
Yeah, is there even a law like that says you have to be, like, how do they prove? They have to, like, 23andMe?
I read into that once. There is a certain percentage, and I don't know how you go about proving that. I imagine it's one of those things where if you have enough money, you could probably, lie your way into it.
Yeah.
That's how this country works.
Yeah, 100%. You can be anything if you have enough money.
Yeah, pretty much. Still there?
Yeah.
Nope. Oh, okay. I had to be quiet. See, a lot of what our listeners don't know is that if any people see or hear us, we have to like just go completely limp and fall to the floor and pretend we're toys again.
Yep.
I'm actually a bootleg Stretch Armstrong.
Yep. Yeah. I didn't know you were gonna tell them this early. Like we've only been podcasting for about a year now, man. It's a big secret.
We are. We are literally toys.
Yep. It's difficult recording a podcast when you cannot be seen by anybody.
Yeah, it's tough. We manage.
What another thing people don't realize is that it actually takes us about 10 hours to record every episode because of that exact thing.
Yeah.
I have to go through afterwards and edit all the 45-minute breaks in between.
Yeah, and plus I have to fucking spend like an hour talking Barbie into letting me use her dream phone. So that's a fucking thing.
I can't believe how she acts about that fucking phone.
I know. Fucking bitch, dude. She already has her car.
Right.
Honestly, like, I know I'm gonna get a lot of shit, but I think she just needs to get laid. I mean, her boyfriend literally has no genitals.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't gonna go there. Now that you mention it, yeah. I do kind of feel bad for her.
So I don't have a problem calling him out on the show.
No.
He's an asshole.
Yep. I heard he hit her too.
So yeah, okay, there's really no good way to transition back into the topic. So
straight back to faith healing. Yeah.
So before we started talking today, I was reading an article about because I was looking up specific instances of children dying from neglect for religious reasons. I read probably like 5 or 6 articles in the last like 2 or 3 days. All of them are from the last 2 fucking months.
Oh my god.
Yeah. The one I was just reading was there was a couple in. Oh wait. Okay. Actually, real quick, I need to go back to the last thing because it's got a.
Oh yeah.
Kind of an ironic ending, which was Richard Nixon's two White House aides were who were responsible for putting that clause into the child protection bill. 2 of them died from debilitating illnesses. One of them, I think, died from complications of diabetes. The other had one type of cancer, and. One of them, at least, was true to his word and refused any sort of medical help. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. And he died. He probably could. Like, if he would have had medical attention early enough, he could have made it enough. At least another decade and a half or so.
Or one for Darwin.
And yeah, the other one is funny. He outlived the other guy by like a decade, and he, what do you know, did seek medical attention.
Hypocrite.
Yeah, fucking hypocrite, piece of shit.
Not willing to die for your cause, you piece of shit.
Yeah, it's funny. It's kind of funny how politicians have no problem telling other people how to live.
Yep. But
when they're faced with their own mortality, it's funny how all their shit goes out the window.
Yep, suddenly.
Yeah, suddenly. And I mean, I'm glad they're both dead. Fuck them. But that
exactly.
One guy, at least part of me admires the one guy for sticking to his convictions.
Yeah.
Like even though his convictions are completely misguided and stupid.
Yeah. No, it's a win-win for everybody, really. I mean.
Yeah.
He died on a sword, and we got to see an idiot die for literally no reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good analogy. He died on a sword, and the rest of us got to watch him get impaled. So.
Yep, exactly. I just found the whole concept of faith healing to be fucking hypocritical.
Oh, yeah.
It's obviously we're going to be a little bit biased because, it's an atheist podcast, but how much sense does it make to pray to the same God that made you sick in the first place?
Yeah, right.
If it was all part of God's plan, then maybe it was part of his plan to go get help. Or maybe it's not. Maybe his plan is for you to fucking die. So, What do I know?
And then, like in some of these instances, like the ones that I found kind of funny were when people got convicted or I mean when they were on trial and they pleaded not guilty. It's like, wait a second. Or it's like I started to think about it. I'm like, wait a second, are you pleading not guilty because it's God's will? Or like,
Right.
well, I'm wondering where this, like, it's not my fault.
Yeah, where does the line go from?
Yeah.
I didn't
was
do
like,
it.
Yeah. So I read one, what I was just reading like about an hour or so ago was, it was in Oregon. And what I've been kind of learning about Oregon the last like year or so is that is a real bastion of ignorance. Like they're having like resurgences of viruses and diseases that because of their anti-vaxxing attitudes should not exist. And
isn't that crazy?
yeah,
I read
like
that
they're
yesterday.
having, yeah, Oregon is having like a measles epidemic.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and so this one, I think it was dated July 10th. I think they got convicted. I don't think they got sentenced yet. But so yeah, there was this married couple, which just one of these times I want it to be a not married Christian couple.
Yeah.
Like I think that would be funny.
Yeah. They're just their life partner.
Yeah, yeah.
Their Christian life partner.
Because it would make no sense at all. But so yeah, there's this married couple, and they're members of the Followers of Christ Church. It's I think it's south of Portland. And another theme I'm noticing, really unoriginal fucking names.
Yeah, I feel like the more unoriginal names like that, the wackier, I guess you could go for.
Yeah, yeah.
Like when you step out of like Presbyterian and Lutheran and Methodist, Catholic, once you start stepping a little bit farther away from those titles, it gets even crazier.
Yeah, and so these guys, they had two twin girls, and but they didn't. The woman got absolutely. Oh man, there's a lot of info here too. So okay, yeah. So the woman who was pregnant, she received no prenatal care, and
Perfect.
yeah. So of course the babies were born very premature and very unhealthy, and one of them died because of course they didn't seek medical condition. And then, well, here's the weird part though, is that like so the baby dies, and then I don't know like if they called the cops first, and the cops called a doctor or something. I'm guessing like they probably called 911 to report the dead baby. But it just said that like a physician came, like because they had twins. One of them died, and then a doctor was there, and he noticed that the other twin was barely fucking like hanging on to life. And now she's in custody of someone else, and she's healthy, thank goodness.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I mean, it sucks that one of them died, but if that one hadn't have died, or
Right.
like if they didn't report that death, the other baby would have died. So at least there's that, but. It's still it's unfortunate. And then, like, so this church, the Followers of Christ Church, was founded, I think, by the woman's grandfather or great-grandfather.
Oh, so it's legit.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing culty about that.
No.
But, so it started in 1955, and then the Oregonian, I think that's the big newspaper from Portland, or whatever. But they did, like, a really in-depth investigation, and they were like combing through their cemetery of like all the children that died, and there's like 55 children that died, and they were kind of going through the records, and they determined that 22 of those children probably died because of neglect, because they don't believe. Yeah, 22 children died because they refuse to seek medical attention because they don't
So
believe in it.
22 of how many you said? 50?
I think 55.
So like 45% of the kids died for no fucking reason.
Yeah, like of people dying under the age of, I think, I don't know if it was 18 or maybe even lower. Maybe it was like, I guess they didn't define children because I'm kind of wondering if that might mean like, like 5 and under when.
Well, when you're talking about the church, it's hard to say how young children are.
Yeah, yeah, they didn't specify exactly what age range. They just said like children. But yeah, that's pretty disturbing.
Yeah. What was the the YouTube videos that you sent me?
Oh, we did talk about it on the last episode.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
The one that I feel like I pretty much sleepwalked through.
Yeah.
Yeah, apologies to everyone because God, I was tired on that.
It didn't come out bad. I listened to it again after the editing.
I thought it was good, but I was just like, I felt like I had so many moments where I'd say something, I'm like, wait, what the fuck was I talking about? Where am I? Well, and maybe it seemed worse than it was just because we had really bad connection problems.
Yeah.
Because it was like fucking.
There was no rhythm or anything to that last episode.
Yeah, that was kind of tough because it was like storming here. And
yeah. I was having spotty internet in my place, and it was storming in your place, so it was fucking back and forth, interrupting each other and like talking over each other. That was a bitch to edit, man.
Oh God, yeah, I bet that took a while. But yeah, I mentioned them in the last one, and
yeah, because then right afterwards you sent me the video to it, or the YouTube video.
I forgot their names, or fuck. Now I wish I would have remembered where they were from because like a lot of these like religious stories of like fanatical Christians, like I do like to know where they're from because it's really starting to paint
exactly.
It's really starting to paint a picture. Like a lot of this shit is coming from Oregon, and like you think the West Coast, you think
like hippie,
they might be
sandals.
Yeah. Well, like Portland especially. Portland's like a real hipster kind of town. Like you.
Handlebar mustache.
Yeah. Then again, I watch a lot of cops, and ones from Oregon are pretty fucking trashy. So I guess I should know better.
I've been writing a little bit of a bit about watching cops and like how 90% of episodes of cops are like in Florida or Ohio. Those just happen to be our swing states too.
Yeah. Funny how that works.
Yeah, it was. Like I'm gonna link that video, I think, in the webpage. His face when he got the guilty verdict was just disbelief. He couldn't believe what he did was wrong.
I mean, like you had to I described it to you, but you just had
to see it.
Like luckily the thumbnail preview, like they paused it on the perfect spot.
Yeah.
Because the fucking lady's just like tearing up, but the guy, his reaction makes me fucking so mad.
How could they possibly convict me when I was clearly killing my daughter?
Yeah. Like, holy shit. Like, his fucking face is, like, you could, like, he can't, like, he's like, there's
you're making it hardcore.
Ooh.
Just the last 2 seconds. You can tell, you basically said you can tell in his face.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can tell in his face that he is just, in his mind, he's thinking, like,
yeah.
Why?
You can tell he was 100% confident that he wasn't going to be convicted.
Yeah. That's so crazy.
Oh, dude. It was like the most, like, I had a harder time watching that than I do watching, like, other disgusting shit on YouTube. Like, I'm fine with blood. Like, I don't mind like, I've watched surgeries before on YouTube and been fine. His reaction made me want to throw up.
Yeah.
I have a stronger stomach for that shit than his reaction. I was like, are you kidding me? You really thought after your kid died because you didn't, do anything to help him but pray.
Yeah, the first time I saw that, like, it's funny because his reaction, his facial reaction was the same. Like, I was having the same reaction
Right.
watching him. Like, are you fucking kidding me? And it's like, you know what? Then you should be proud.
Right.
Like, you should be proud because this is God's will, and
Yep.
you're not backing down from your beliefs. See, that's why I have no beliefs. I have no beliefs, no convictions, no loyalty to anybody, no
Right.
feelings, no friends.
No emotions.
Yeah, no emotions. Nobody likes me.
What were we talking about?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, but like, oh shit, I forgot what I was just saying. Like, the only other reaction that I wouldn't have expected to be like pure celebration.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the only other reaction that I wouldn't have expected.
Mm-hmm.
Shocked and celebrating.
It's like, you know what I actually kind of admired? I was watching Cops, speaking of that, and there was this Jamaican Rastafarian guy, and they arrested him with a bunch of weed. And that's like very ingrained with the Rastafarian religion. And the guy was very defiant. And I mean, he probably gave a shit that he was being arrested, but to him, it was just like he was kind of being made a martyr. And it's like, see, now that's how that guy should have reacted.
Right.
Like that Jamaican fella.
Yep.
Because you're gonna fucking do dumb shit, break the law,
Right.
and literally kill your own child over religious beliefs, then you might as well fucking be all in.
Yep. That's the other thing. Like, I guarantee you, most Christians of Christians who watched that episode that you just spoke of, the majority of them are probably like, fuck his religion.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But they don't mind doing it with their own religion when it comes to government.
Yeah, and even though what's funny is that, because that's another religion that I read into, and it's like Rastafari, like, because people wear, you see like fucking stoners and hippie types wearing the red, gold, and green shit, and it's like it kind of makes me laugh. Having researched that, it kind of makes me laugh because, like, dude, you have no idea how fucking hardcore Christian the Jamaican Rastafarians are.
Yeah.
And it's really like a hardcore, like, Afrocentric religion. Like, a lot of it has to do with, like, Africa is the promised land and the white people are the devil. And it's like, fucking, like you realize how insulting it probably is for some dumb suburban hippie to be wearing that shit.
Who hasn't seen the sun in like years?
Yeah,
Pasty ass white, like the whitest of the whites.
Yeah, where like in Jamaica, like, because that had the highest homicide rate for like years.
Yeah.
And it's just there's something ironic about that.
Yeah.
Well, same thing with dumbass fucking college kids thinking Che Guevara as the
right.
Hero. He was a murderer who didn't shower.
Right. It's a little known fact.
Yeah, he actually had a reputation for fucking absolutely smelling like shit.
Which, if you're the leader of any country, there's no excuse.
Yeah, and not only that, like, if you look into Che Guevara, he was very racist towards Africans because they tried to install communist regimes in a couple African countries. And if you look into Che Guevara's writings, which you're probably not going to, if you got the Che poster, you probably already think you know enough.
Right.
But if you like read like his diaries, because he meticulously wrote down like all of his thoughts, you'll find that he thought that Africans were fucking like genetically inferior. Like, he was extremely racist towards Africans.
But don't let his own words get in your way.
Yeah. It's kind of funny how the most like politically minded people are oftentimes the people who know the absolute least about history and politics.
Right. Yep. Yep. True. Look no further than Fox News half the time.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Fox News, by the way, barely even covers news about foxes.
That's true. You have a very strong point, man.
Yeah. They also, I literally have I've never seen them talk about Red Fox.
No.
I've never seen them talk about Fox Mulder, the lead character from the X-Files.
Right?
Yeah. So it's bullshit.
False advertising.
Yeah. At least, ABC News constantly covers news about the alphabet. All the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, 100% of their coverage is about the alphabet.
They use the alphabet in 100% of their episodes, too.
It's true, so it's really not false advertising.
No. I never thought about that. I'm pretty disappointed now. Like, I'm even more mad at Fox News.
Yeah, exactly.
That could be a video, too.
Yeah, oh, there you go. God, we need to make the fake conspiracy videos.
Did you know Fox News started in 1945? It actually tracked the migration patterns of the red fox.
Yeah, yeah. What was the first news channel? Was that CNN?
I think so. I think CNN was like the first cable news.
It's kind of funny. Like, I was reading an article, and I guess I never really thought about how the 24-hour news networks really did destroy the news.
Oh, yeah.
Because all of a sudden you got, because when you look at pretty much any of them, none of it's news. It's all, roundtable discussions and opinions,
yep.
and just bitching.
Yep.
So, the nightly news reports the news still, but, the 24-hour news networks report little to no news anymore.
Right. I feel like another huge difference between the two is, I watch CNN, but I don't watch it every single hour of my free time. I feel like Fox News people have to watch Greta, they have to watch Hannity, and they have to watch Tucker, they have to watch Laura Ingraham after all those two. They watch it for entertainment.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
If you've heard the news for the day, Donald Trump made this tweet, Manafort got busted for this, that's the news. That's it. Anything past that is opinionated. Yeah. And when you talk about it for 12 hours, it's not news.
No, it's just completely, it's 5% news, 95% water. It's just watered down news.
Yep, exactly. I was like, oh man, I just had something to say. Oh, I missed it. Like watching the fastball go right on the middle and you just don't swing at it. Damn it. No, it's anything that I feel like one station should pull on MTV and just not report the news anymore at all.
That would be pretty funny. Yeah. I mean, they're already headed in that direction.
Right.
Might as well.
MTV doesn't play music. Fox News doesn't talk about news.
Yeah.
It should be Alex Jones' station. It's just conspiracies. No news, conspiracies the whole time.
Yeah,
like it is now.
Yeah. The only true channel that everybody should watch is Cartoon Network because they play cartoons.
Yep. I honestly I have a theory about shit like that. If more people watched Cartoon Network, for example, the country would be a better place because people would be having a better time. If everyone smoked weed at the same time, this world would be a better place.
Yeah.
If everybody had a gun, no wait.
Oh well, okay, but if everybody had 2 guns,
Right. Because we all know that.
then they carry in their hands at all times. Then,
Right.
because you know what they say about idle hands. But if
Yep.
you had 2 guns in your hands, they would never go idle.
Exactly.
So I think we just discovered world peace.
The more you know.
Yeah. So you heard it, folks. Everyone just carry 2 guns at all times into Starbucks.
Into Starbucks.
And fucking demand that they write "Merry Christmas" on your cup. I want to go to Starbucks and just demand that they write "Hail Satan."
Yeah, exactly. It's my religion.
That's so funny. That whole thing about no guns allowed in Starbucks is so funny. Like, when have you ever felt the need to bring a fucking gun into Starbucks? Jesus Christ.
Dude.
Like, they had all those pictures in Texas of people defiantly wearing like their hunting rifles or whatever into coffee shops. Like, shut the fuck up.
Take that.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It is just a nation, just man children.
That's like one of the safest places on the planet almost.
Yeah. Yeah, how about just not go to Starbucks?
That's also a good idea.
Just buy a fucking Mr. Coffee and stay home.
Bitches.
Like, they're complaining, like, it's just, like, it's funny to me, like, their complaint is, like, oh, when I give money to $1 billion corporation, I want to bring my gun in with me.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
It's like, your priorities are just all over the place.
Oh, my God. I would gotten, like... I don't want to call it like an argument. It was pretty close to a debate for the most part. With someone who's a Christian Trump supporter. And like it was going pretty calm for a bit, and then out of nowhere he just like called me a hippie iced coffee drinking liberal. And I was like, wait, iced coffee?
Yeah.
That was the insult?
Well, you remember all those songs that John Lennon and the Beatles wrote about iced coffee, right?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, you remember that Simon and Garfunkel song? It was the one they released after Mrs. Robinson. It was about iced coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, he's got a point then, I guess. I forgot about those.
Yeah, when
Help, I need iced coffee.
Yeah. Like, because you remember Easy Rider.
Yeah.
When they drove across the country drinking iced coffee.
Exactly. It's like, what the fuck, man? Like, I've been called so many, like, horrible, ridiculous, like... I've got death threats on Twitter, and this guy was like, you freaking hippie, coffee-drinking liberal. I was like, what? That's as deep as it gets with you, huh?
Yeah. And for another thing is that it's fucking summer. I don't want to drink piping hot coffee.
Exactly.
When it's fucking 97 degrees out. Fuck that shit.
It was I wasn't expecting that at all.
Yeah.
Like, you piece of shit in your iced coffee, man. Think you're so big with your iced coffee, man.
Yeah. That's great. Jesus Christ.
I don't know if you remember this, but when Rosa Parks refused to sit in the back of the bus, she actually had iced coffee with her.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Well, and then since I'm a big comedy fan, I was thinking the other day about the time how Lenny Bruce got arrested for drinking iced coffee on stage.
Oh my God, that was the most controversial thing ever.
And then yeah, and then George Carlin's legendary bit of 7 types of iced coffee you can't drink on the radio.
I don't even think we can say it on the podcast.
No, I don't.
Like, we can say whatever we want in a podcast, but not the 7 types of iced coffee.
No, I don't want the FCC, even though they don't have control over us. I don't want them coming down on me.
No, let's just change the subject.
You know, I don't want to talk about it because I might have a part in one of the Star Wars movies someday, so I don't want to.
Right.
I don't want my old tweets about iced coffee coming back to keep me from directing the next Guardians of the Galaxy.
This is really offensive to Mormons, I bet you.
Oh yeah.
Fucking pricks making
Yeah,
fun of coffee.
that's like the thing. That's like the one thing that like South Park has showed me, and that like just knowing like at least a few Mormons is that I actually don't think they get offended by anything.
Yeah, probably not.
Like I don't like some of them either just get offended by just fun in general, or
Right.
like it
It's
seems
very
like they're just
polarized.
yeah, it seems like they're mostly just happy being fucking lame as shit.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Which good for them.
Yeah, minimalist, I guess.
Yeah.
I just need a yard to watch grow, and I'm happy.
Yeah. Yeah, a yard to watch grow, and if you're Warren Jeffs, maybe 6 or 7 underage brides.
Yep.
God, that fucking guy. Yeah, we'll have to do an episode. I didn't really think about this until now, but we'll have to do an episode about that fucking piece of shit and the
Yeah.
whole, oh, I forgot his specific sect. Well, he was Jehovah's Witness, wasn't he? Or was he a Mormon?
I think he was a Mormon.
Because
Be wrong.
I know
I was thinking Mormon.
they're similar, but Jehovah's Witnesses are more hardcore than Mormons.
Yeah.
Because, what's the bucket? Old Kurt Metzger, he was a Jehovah's Witness. And that's probably why
right.
he ended up being, like, a crazy person. Not crazy, but he's definitely got issues, which probably is what makes him so goddamn funny.
Yep.
But, like, oh boy.
Funny as shit.
Yeah, that's why I love listening to his podcast, is because any chance he has. Because I guess I really didn't know too much about Jehovah's Witnesses until I started listening to, like, his stand-up and shit like that. But yeah, that would suck. My God.
I've been a big fan of Tom Segura lately too.
Oh yeah, he's great.
His delivery. He's just like a jolly, happy dude.
Yeah.
But it's like the words don't quite match.
Yeah. God, I was watching. Oh, you know what's really good? And I watched it at my friend's house. I don't know. It wasn't on Netflix. I don't know what it was on, but there's a documentary about Gilbert Gottfried, which was pretty damn fascinating. I enjoyed watching that. That was pretty fun.
I heard him talk about that on NPR. I actually never saw the special, but I heard him talking about it.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Fascinating.
I like watching like any of like that older generation that like started out in the 70s and 80s is pretty fascinating to live. Well,
yeah,
when you think about it, like the whole, like think about how many times in pop culture that it's went from like, oh, it's okay to be offensive, now you can't, now everything's PC. Oh no, you can be offensive, and now we're back to like these, like all the like like that has to be so fucking frustrating.
Red light, green light with your career.
Yeah, you have to be good to weather all those fucking changes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, someone like Gilbert Gottfried who's been doing it for fucking 40 years. They have to have it like perfectly down crafted. Yeah,
like it really is more of an art than people realize to be able to make a career and be offensive, but yet still like, I don't know, walk the line of like you offend people, but yet everyone doesn't turn on you. Like I don't know, like some people I feel like are like grandfathered into it in a way because they showed like some of Gilbert Gottfried's old things, and then like some of his jokes, I'm like, you can't do that now.
Right. Oh, he got in trouble right away with 9/11.
Yeah, that was kind of that was a brief focus on the documentary. He had that. It was when the Comedy Central roasts were still good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like the 9/11 joke, literally a month after 9/11 happened.
Yeah.
Which is why I fucking love the guy.
Well, that's what oh fuck, I forgot what I was listening to Doug Stanhope. I forgot it was like a podcast or what, but he was like asking everyone how long after 9/11 did you tell a 9/11 joke? Like, how long did you wait? It's like the Seinfeld episode when everyone like tries to not masturbate.
Yeah.
It's like the comedians had to like not tell a 9/11 joke.
Yeah, that was like that was so fascinating because that was like, I mean, he was always famous. I mean, he was in fucking Aladdin, which is another thing that could not happen
Right.
now. Which
No.
I mean, they still make like Aladdin, like direct-to-video movies and like cartoons, and he's still always the parrot. I don't know how,
Right.
but
No.
like that kind of like gave
Someone
it.
coming up,
What's that?
like someone like an up and comer could not play that off.
Oh no, no. Like back then, like they didn't have the internet. Like Bob Saget, like
Yeah.
the lead role on like one of the biggest sitcoms ever.
Like
That
the
couldn't
biggest
happen.
like family show, or you
Yeah.
want to sit around with your entire family and watch,
Yeah,
and then you see his stand up.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that was TGIF for fuck's sake.
Yeah. David Cross is a big one like that too. Like a lot of his roles on TV are like some goofy dipshit,
Yeah, I mean, he was
and then
in.
he comes Arrested Development.
Yeah, he was in the fucking Garfield movies.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
He was in. I think he was in. I don't know. He's been in a lot of kids movies and shit too.
Yep.
Like that is another one.
Then he comes out guns blazing on stage.
Yeah, same with like I don't know. It's really weird how that. It's really weird how that works. You know what I think it is, honestly, is that you got to just own it. Like
Yeah.
you can't start off just doing offensive stuff. If you
Yeah.
say one, especially now you can't cover it up.
Right.
Like back then, you could do like filthy material in clubs, and it would probably never see the light of day.
Right.
You know, people would never know about it. Now, somebody in the audience is probably taping your show. Anything you write on the internet is always going to be screenshotted and saved.
Yep.
So, like, if you say like, like if you're getting into comedy now and you have one offensive joke, you might as well just keep going with it because you're fucked.
Yep.
Like that is the only thing. You can't go back on it. I think that's why a lot of the people that get in trouble are like, you know, they were dirty, they say inappropriate things, and then now they're like champions of PC culture. And then like you can't do that because they really love to eat each other. I noticed.
Yep. Anthony Jeselnik does a really good job of just like saying it. You're like, I said it.
Yeah, he's great. He's got such good delivery.
Yeah. So like methodical almost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what annoyed me about Amy Schumer is that she started off being just filthy and racist and offensive, and now she's, you know, doing fucking really liberal far left rallies, anti-Trump stuff. It's like, what the fuck? Come on. Like she's I mean, I guess I haven't seen any of her new comedy in like the last like 3 or 4 years. So I really can't say, but it seems like she alienated a lot of the people that got
famous. I would probably agree with that too. Just her, I don't even know how many people saw her early shit, but it was hardcore.
Because she got, I remember specifically, I don't remember which one it was. I almost think it might have been the Donald Trump roast. I could be wrong. I think it might have been sooner than that. I can't remember. But it was on one of the Comedy Central roasts, and like I never really heard of her before.
Yeah.
And it was her and Anthony Jeselnik were definitely like the standouts of that because they were both just. It was the meanest shit that I ever heard, and it was so fucking funny.
Hysterical.
Yeah. And it's like now a lot of comedy fans really hate her. And it's like, I mean, it's like I personally don't care what she does. It's just that I'm like not really a fan of hers anymore because I haven't heard her do anything funny. But
Right. I'm not like trying to dog on her that hardcore either.
Yeah, like people just attack like her looks because she put on like a little bit of weight.
This is ridiculous.
Just I know it is ridiculous. It's just like I was a fan of her comedy, and now I really haven't seen much of it, and I haven't really seen her do much funny, so now I'm really not much of a fan of hers, and that's it. Like people who like, oh, she was funny, but now she's like really PC, so no, I hate her. She's fat. Like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. People, like, I feel like people don't know how to just be in the middle of something. You don't have to have an opinion on everything. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, you don't have to hate everyone you don't like. It's okay to not like something that's not a negative.
Oh, no, it's, that's white privilege. Like, no, I for being apolitical and not taking a stance, that's an example of white privilege. And it's
but what if there's really not a stance to take?
Well, and not only that, like, yeah. I mean, there's that, because most of the time in any political issue, there is no right answer.
Right.
There is no right or wrong answer.
Like, there's decent ideas and bad ideas, and there's some great ideas and some terrible ideas, but I don't think there's like such a thing as the answer.
Yeah, you're gonna have to take some ideas, you're gonna have to mix them together, throw some out, add some in, and it's gonna take years and centuries in some cases, and you're probably never gonna find the right answer.
No, but 2 plus 2 in politics don't mix. You know, like 2 plus 2 will always be 4.
Yeah, well, 2 plus 2 is math, and math is science, and science is a conspiracy.
True. God damn it, I always forget about that.
Yeah. Science is a liberal conspiracy.
Yep.
So.
When will I learn?
Yeah. I thought you knew this by now.
Almost like numbing. How when you really think about shit, how depressing it can get.
Oh, I know.
Like, the fuck, man? How in the fuck is science a liberal fucking conspiracy?
Yeah, and you know, like...
Bill Nye the commie guy.
Yeah, oh my god.
Like...
Oh, you know what pisses me off about that? Like, people are always like, people love to talk shit about Bill Nye. It's like, oh, he's always going on TV talking about global warming and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he got his degree in aerodynamics. Like, why is he qualified? Like, do you realize if you get any science degree, you have to take math, you have to take chemistry, you have to take, like, all this, you have to take all sorts of science. You don't just, just go from, getting your prerequisite courses straight to your, you know.
Like, you don't just go to school for a semester and you're a scientist.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what field of science you're in, you're a scientist.
Yeah.
Engineering, aerodynamics, like, what?
It doesn't matter. Any science
It's the same language.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, you have to take, like chemistry, biology. You have to take all this shit. So, yeah. Right. No matter what your degree is, you're probably more qualified than some fucking dipshit.
Yeah, it's sometimes I have hard times finding words because I'm just so like short-circuited. It makes no fucking sense that he's not a real scientist. He doesn't know anything. What?
Yeah, and you know what? I tend to believe anybody who has a degree from an accredited university over someone who probably gets most of their news from fucking memes.
Yeah, exactly. Memes, I feel like somebody said this. Was it John Oliver?
It might have been me, but go ahead.
Yeah. Memes aren't news.
Right. They're not. And then, like, that was the thing, like, with the Russian hacking. Like, people were like, like I guess it was confirmed, to a certain degree that they interfered with the election, but it was literally like fake clickbait articles and memes.
Yeah,
Like that was
that was it.
seriously, that was the extent of their interference.
That's why
And
it was
it,
so easy and so
yeah,
effective.
and it really like, it's so funny how, uh, yeah, it's so funny how people are blaming, like people are just, ready to try and they want to go to war with Russia over that, and it's like it really says more about our fellow countrymen that they could be duped that easily.
Right.
It says more about
Right.
us than the Russian government.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, it is really just astounding.
How people are just so quick to hit that share button too. Like,
Oh, yeah.
oh, it's like I've been in this on Twitter. I've been in this thread for like almost a month now, and I'm not gonna like name names or like look at this guy at I'm a dipshit.com or whatever. But like this one person keeps posting articles. Like the headline is his exact argument, but then you read through it, it like debunks his actual theory. So like it's obvious the guy's not reading the actual article. He's reading the
Oh,
headline, and then
yeah.
here you go.
Yeah, it's great. I see that a lot.
It's fucking. How stupid can you goddamn be? Headlines are attention grabbers. You need to actually read the rest of the words.
Yeah. Or it's funny because there's a lot of like satire websites, which most of them aren't funny. Like you're not the Onion, like
Right.
like because I'll read like a lot of articles and I'm like, this seems like satire, but I can't tell. Like whoever's writing satire articles, fucking make it funny. That's what it's supposed to be.
All it needs to be funny.
Like because I'll read a lot of articles that seem like they could be real, but then I'll like type in like where the source came from, and I'll say, this is a satire site. I'm like, oh, I couldn't tell because it's not fucking funny. But anyway, like that was my 5 seconds of research to determine that it was not legitimate news.
Right.
And it's like, is it that hard to do the same?
No.
If you see something on Facebook that seems like it could be not true, it's probably not. Or you're already reading it on the internet.
That's the thing. These fucking people have internet because they're on Facebook. It takes 5 seconds to go google.com, is Trump a Russian spy? Or is Hillary selling uranium? Like, it takes no time at all to fucking research this shit. And these people just won't do it.
Yeah. No, yeah. No, all anybody really does is, like, they see a headline or something, it's like, oh, yeah, I agree with this, or this, caters to my fucking shallow, ill-informed agenda. Share, and that's it.
Yep. I'm not saying they all voted for the same person, but I feel like it's weighted differently, I should say.
Yeah.
Both parties are guilty of it, but I feel like one side tips the scale a little more.
Yeah, it might be slightly disproportionate.
Yeah. I can't even, like, count on one hand. If I scrolled through my time feed for, like, one day, like, if I didn't scroll through from midnight to midnight, I just did it in one shot, I could probably count 15 to 20 memes that were fake news. And it would take 5 seconds to debunk any of them.
Yeah.
Read, people. Read past the headline. You just read the front third of the article. At least that much. That's all we're asking.
Yeah. No, that is asking way too much.
Yeah. Jesus. And that's going to wrap up another episode of the Church of Atheism podcast. Thank you guys again so much for listening. If you're still sticking around and listening to this now, if you want to do us a favor, if you're listening to us on iTunes, leave a little review, give us some stars. However many stars you want to give us, it's fine. I'm not going to ask you for 5. If you want to give us 1, give us 1. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening. We will talk to you guys next time.